11:34 in the morning on this Monday in Israel. It is a historic day, and you are watching history unfold. This is the Knesset in Jerusalem, the Israeli parliament building. President Trump has been invited to speak to the Knesset. He has been obviously very involved in the peace negotiations that have resulted in what you see on the banner at the bottom of your screen there. All 20 living hostages now confirmed to have been released by Hamas. Israel is releasing nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners in return, and there are the bodies of 28 hostages who died while in horrific conditions in Hamas captivity. Those bodies are going to be returned in the coming days, perhaps weeks, because it is not known where all of them are. If you're just joining us, you're looking at the Knesset. President Trump will be the fourth U.S. president to address the Knesset. He's also being given the Medal of Honor, the highest Israeli medal that can be given. That will be bestowed on him today for his role in making this deal happen. Our chief national security correspondent, Jennifer Griffin, is in Tel Aviv. She joins us now live. Jennifer.
Thank you.
John, it is an extraordinary moment here in Israel. We've just confirmed with the IDF that all 20 Israeli hostages, all 20 living hostages have been released by Hamas. The last 13 are in the hands of the Red Cross. They are making their way to the IDF checkpoint right now. The IDF is still in 53% of the Gaza Strip. They had pulled back to that line, that ceasefire line, as part of the agreement. These last 13 hostages, some of whom had already been making phone calls and video phone calls with their parents and their spouses and their loved ones at the base in Re'im from their Hamas captors' phones while they were waiting for the Red Cross. The Red Cross then went through medical checks. They identified all 13 of the Israeli hostages, and now we can report that that convoy is on its way to meet the IDF as we speak. All 20 will return to Israel shortly. We have seen preparations at the Re'im base outside the military helicopters, which will bring the hostages to the three hospitals here in Tel Aviv that have been making preparations for the hostages, medical doctors, psychologists, care packages for the hostages who've been kept in unbelievable conditions for the last 2 years. Remarkably, we've seen photos of at least six photos of the 7 hostages who've been released. And of those hostages, all of them, we're told, are walking on their own. That is a good sign. That shows that they are healthy enough to walk on their own. So what we can say is that some of the scenes have been extremely emotional. When the twin brothers, Zvi and Gali Berman, hugged one another, there's a still photo in front of the IDF when they hugged, and they had been separated for 2 years, both of them held hostage by Hamas, both of them released in this first wave of 7 who were released earlier today. You had moments where Omri Miran, who we have not seen an image of yet, but he was speaking by phone with his wife, Lishai, who has been tireless in bringing his story to the world, and his young 3-year-old daughter who barely remembers her father. He's been gone for 2 years. He was on the phone with his wife, Lishai, and that was an emotional moment. We have other photos of Alon Ohel, who we've told you about. He's the piano player. A piano is waiting for him at Re'im base, and also likely at the hospital, because music is his form of therapy, and his parents have made the piano a symbol of his captivity for the last 2 years. So behind, not far from where I'm standing right now, is what is called Freed Square. It was Hostages Square earlier today, but now the name has been changed. changed, and President Trump and Air Force One flew over Freed Square. We saw Air Force One as it went up the coastline here in Tel Aviv. It flew over that message on the beach that said, "Thank you, Trump." He's now in the Knesset. We have a message that he wrote to the people of Israel in the guest book there in the Knesset. It said, "This is my great honor, a great and beautiful day, a new beginning." So we are waiting now for President Trump to speak to the Knesset. I'll throw it back to you, John.
All right, Jennifer Griffin. Jennifer, thank you. Let us not forget the barbarity of the attacks that Hamas launched more than 2 years ago, October 7th of 2023, when they snuck across the Israeli border, killed Israeli military soldiers, butchered Israeli citizens, people who were simply trying to live their lives. And Hamas fighters came in, roasted babies alive in ovens, killed people with pitchforks, chopped the heads off of many of the men, raped many of the women, took these hostages and in some cases, sliced their Achilles tendons so that they couldn't run away. It is absolutely horrific, barbarous, just inhuman kinds of attacks that Hamas launched. Israel has responded and left much of Gaza flattened. But again, Israel says that they were simply trying to get to the Hamas fighters who hid themselves in civilian buildings, in hospitals, schools, and mosques. The fighting may be over now. At least President Trump says it is, and things are going to be changed in the Middle East. Our Steve Harrigan is in Jerusalem now. Let's get the latest from him. Steve.
John, President Trump about to address the Knesset here in Jerusalem. We don't know exactly what he's going to say, but he's given a few clues about what his speech might be about. On the way over, he said, "The war is over." And while signing the guest book in the Knesset, he wrote, "This is my great honor, a great and beautiful day, a new beginning." So it's clear for President Trump, this is a lot more than a hostage release. This is about a clean slate, a new start, a real chance at peace. Right now, the first phase of that peace is in effect and does seem to be working. There is a ceasefire that is effective. There are the return of thousands of Palestinians to their homes. Aid is beginning to flow in. We've seen Israeli forces pull back as well. As far as the hostage situation goes, those hostages, some of them still on the move. They go from Hamas to the Red Cross to Israeli forces and then by helicopter to hospitals in Tel Aviv. 7 of them are already doing that, and we've seen 7 of them appear to be walking under their own power, so certainly a very good sign. The 13 others still to be released are under the control of the Red Cross right now. They're heading towards that Israeli military base. They'll be taken by helicopter to 3 hospitals here around Tel Aviv that have been prepped for their arrival. John, back to you.
All right, it is amazing, Steve. Steve Harrigan reporting from Jerusalem. Thank you. The buses, the vans appear to be arriving there at the Reim base in Israel, where the helicopters are waiting to fly those former hostages to their families and to medical care. Many of them appear to be in better shape than what we saw in January when Hamas released hostages who were gaunt, emaciated, obviously had been mistreated. Certainly these hostages have been mistreated as well, but they appear to be in a bit better shape. Hard to know why that is, but perhaps we will learn that in their stories. According to information provided by the Red Cross, the 13 hostages have been transferred into Red Cross custody. They are on their way to IDF and ISA forces in Gaza. You can see that tent. We saw soldiers carrying that tent a short time ago. They have placed that tent where apparently the vans are going to disgorge their passengers. They will go directly into the tents, so it'll be out of view of the cameras. We might find that unfortunate, but certainly the hostages and their families would like to have as much privacy at this moment as possible. So that's what's going to be taking place there. The hostages will emerge, the former hostages will emerge from the vans, go into those tents, and then be loaded aboard the helicopters that you see waiting there. We are also waiting for President Trump to address the Israeli Knesset. Fourth president to do so, he will be bestowed the Medal of Honor in Israel. We will be back live with our continuing coverage after this break.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.